there's about 25 different reasons why kids steal at a young age. Now listen to this. I'm going to break it down into categories for you. Some of them are impulsive, where it's just kind of the stimulus response, the stimulus was there. At a certain age, below 6, they don't understand ownership and they don't understand possession and private property conceptually, developmentally. So if it's there, you see it in preschool all the time, I'll just take it because it doesn't belong to anybody. You know, everything is mine, because kids are egocentric at that young age. So if I want it, I take it. All right, so whenever we see a kid that's just young developmentally, we're looking at just not yet having the developmental brain maturity to get ownership. All right. Then we get kids also developmentally very young. I just don't know yet that it's wrong. Nobody taught me I'm not supposed to do that, because we think it's cute when it's a little kid. We just take it away and give it back and give them something else, right? Another one is when a kid is very, very young, emotionally or developmentally, and we say, well, how would you feel if somebody took yours? They don't know what you're talking about. They can't relate to, huh? What do you mean? How would I feel? The other thing is a young child who's egocentric, just, I want it, you know. So there it is, it's in my eyes, it's in, and that's all there is to it. And then we say, put it back, and they put it back, right? That was a developmental issues, the ones before. Now look at these. I've never been consequenced for it, so I don't know I'm not supposed to do it, is one. I watched other people do it, so I think it's okay. So this is on the basis of my experience. I see my peers taking it, or I saw my parents taking stuff, so it's okay. I don't know how else to get it. I don't have any other source of money, so I just lack the experience for how to get what I want. So now we're into the experiential, not a developmentally young thing, just experientially lacking. Nobody ever told me before that I have to ask, you know, before I borrow or use something else. Nobody ever praised me for being honest. Nobody ever reinforced me for respecting other people's possessions. So, I mean, just look at how far this goes. And I lie because maybe I just don't want to get in trouble. So if I say yes, I'll get in trouble, so I'll say no. All right, now let's look at the other reasons that we sometimes ascribe to why people steal. I want attention. I can get attention for stealing. I'm neglected, and stealing is a substitute for what I don't have. These are more dynamic, right? It's more part of a personality issue or developing. I'm alienated and I don't care about other people's feelings or their things. I want revenge. You know, I'll show them. I like the thrill of the chase. I think I can get away with it. Then we got the kids who say, I want to get caught, the cry for help. I mean, these are very complicated motivational states that people can get into. I'm trying to be tough, I'm trying to be important, I need the money to buy other things that I want, I hate authority, I'm pathological, I have no conscience, I have no regard for other people. I mean, it gets very complicated. Now, the nice thing about working with younger kids, or even older kids with fetal alcohol, is that there are examples that show us how this is just a characteristic of brain dysfunction and how we can approach it. There's a long, long list of about 30 different methods that we use for approaching things for stealing. But first I want to talk to you about this high school boy who borrowed the school van to go home because he had forgotten to bring his permission slip for the field trip later that day. He was charged for stealing, but in his FASD mind, the rule was he needed a permission slip, so he went home to get the permission slip. This other boy who needed money for the things that he wanted would take coin out of people's places, and when he was 12 years old and when he was confronted about it, he had a good fetal alcohol solution, fetal alcohol spectrum disorder type of solution in his mind. Well, if you gave me a bigger allowance, I wouldn't have to steal money because then I'd have the money to get things. All right, so he had a perfectly logical process but at a very immature level for a 12-year-old. That's the kind of thing you'd expect a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old to come up, well, give me more money. Another boy who was 18 would take money when he saw it, know it wasn't his, but he was one of these sensory tactile guys, and he liked the feeling of change in his pocket. He liked to fiddle it with his hand. So this was being charged as theft, but really what it was just no sense of a connection to how it would affect other people. And these are very fetal alcohol type of examples. I've got a couple of other here. A child takes a jacket that he sees. This is off the Saskatchewan website for fetal alcohol. He sees a jacket that he likes, he takes it and wears it because it was just sitting there. It didn't belong to anybody. And if it didn't belong to somebody, it could belong to him. I remember one kid said, it was about 10 or 11, I didn't steal the makeup from my sister, it was sitting on the bathroom counter. Right? So, I mean, you can see the reasoning, right? So we have to understand a mind that doesn't put itself into the other person's mind very well and understand where they are in a context. They're just kind of more in the moment. Another person who asked if they could wear the friend's sweater, and the friend said yes, but they didn't know that that didn't mean that they could keep it forever. I mean, just not getting the context. So these are very, very important. Okay, so now we need strategies for how to deal with this kind of stuff. And I want to pause for a minute and talk about strategies.